Hi, I'm Ellen. I am from Disabled People Against Cuts, and I'm also very proud to be part of the Stop the Changes to Access to Work campaign. Disabled People Against Cuts was set up in 2010 to oppose the vicious assaults of the Tory government on disabled people. It was very clear from early on in 2010 that disabled people were going to face a battle under this government, but what we've seen is worse than anything we imagined in our worst nightmares. Disabled people, it's been shown in research, are being hit by the cuts 9 times harder than the average person. For disabled people with very high support needs, that figure rises to 19 times higher. So we're very far from all being in this together. Disabled people are set to lose more than £28 billion in benefits and entitlements over the course of this one single parliament, and that's money coming from people who had hardly anything to begin with, because disabled people were twice as likely to live in poverty before the government came in 2010. So DPAC was set up by disabled people wanting to fight back and wanting to challenge what's happening, but we've been clear all the way along that what's happening is not just about hurting disabled people, it's part of a much bigger ideological agenda, and that's why DPAC has made alliances and we campaign with other groups, with workers, with trade unions, also with mainstream anti-cuts groups like UK Uncut. Because what's happening, the changes, the shake-up of the social security system, what the government calls welfare reform, what it's about is making sure that there isn't a safety net for people who are out of work. And that's a way in to be able to attack workers' pay and conditions. We've seen the rise of things like zero-hour contracts, where people don't have a guarantee of any hours from one week to the next. There's no sick pay, there's no annual leave. Health and safety is under attack. And all of these measures are bringing down working conditions, driving down people's wages. So what's happening to disabled people is very much connected to that wider picture. DPAC's involvement with the Access to Work campaign with Stop the Changes is because we, as disabled people, many of us on Access to Work packages ourselves, have experienced firsthand how detrimental the changes to access to work are being on us and our ability to stay in work. But we're also very aware of the connection between what's happening with access to work and the impact on the terms and conditions of interpreters. BSL interpreters are highly skilled, trained for many years to do a very professional job. If more people are going to go into the profession and be providing a service that is essential for deaf people in order to be part of the community, to participate, to have equal life chances, to be in employment, for all that to happen, we need to have a trained workforce. We need to have an adequately paid workforce to make people want to become BSL interpreters. What the government's doing through Access to Work is actually trying to drive down the income, the conditions that BSL interpreters can expect to work under, and that's something that is relevant to all of us, to deaf and disabled people, and to anybody who wants to make sure that people, regardless of impairment, have equal chances in society. We mustn't let ourselves be divided, we mustn't be pushed into pointing the finger and blaming people, saying you earn too much, it's your fault. What we have to do is see the wider picture, what's happening, why it's happening, and we need to fight for our communities and for all of us within that community, be they deaf and disabled people, be they interpreters. One of the fundamental positions of the Stop the Changes campaign is that we will not let ourselves be divided. We are fighting for access to work, for adequate employment support for deaf and disabled people to enable us to be in employment, but we're also fighting against what we see as attacks by the government on BSL interpreters. NUBSLI, the new union, is going to play a very important role in protecting terms and conditions for interpreters. I am very pleased that it's been set up, and I look forward to working with you all to continue this fight. Thank you.